Go.
Welcome
to
episode 59.
2-4 niner.
Niner?
59er.
Did I catch a niner in there? Are you calling from a walkie-talkie?
No, it was cordless.
Mm-hmm. You know what? Don't.
Such a good movie. It's February 7th. We are your hosts, Gus.
I'm Matt.
And thank you for being here. Thank you for continuing to put up with our shit. We appreciate it.
First 30 seconds, that was it.
If you're new here, thanks for coming. I hope you're in for, I don't know, whatever you're in for.
Yeah.
What are they in for today, Matt?
What they're in for today is it's probably the last week that you can order Valentine stuff and use code Valentine, or you can use code podcast and get 20% off.
That's right.
Whatever you want to do. But if you have forgotten to get your whiskey lover in your life a Valentine's Day gift, we have some stuff on the store they're probably going to like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got stuff dudes like.
Yeah. And chicks. You gotta get
for their dudes.
Get your wife a cocktail smoker kit.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you can use it.
But you can tell her it's for her. Get her that vacuum too. You should. Do it.
What was that? I saw that Be a Man guy. He just did a new one the other day, and it was like he was like, do your wife a favor before she comes home, get the vacuum cleaner out and plug it in for her. Be a man.
This advice is so great.
It's good advice.
It is really good advice.
Sometimes I'll do it for my wife. I'll leave it right in the front door, and she walks in and she'll look at it and go, were you vacuuming? Like, oh no, I got it ready for you.
That's good.
And then I leave before I get in trouble.
That's good. It's smart.
Yeah.
Strategic. Well planned.
Yeah.
It's very good. Proud of you.
We have a guest today.
We do?
Yep. He's going to be calling in probably about 45 minutes, something like that.
Yep.
And we were just going to...
Should we do that as, like, preface that with the P-O-W-W?
P-O-W?
The P-O-T-W?
What?
Plug of the week?
Oh.
Or do we do that on the show? With him on it and make it awkward? Would it be awkward?
Would it be awkward?
I don't think so. I don't know.
I don't know.
I can't remember how we did it at Lux. Did we do it with him on?
Yeah, we did it with him on. We'll do it with him on.
All right.
Yeah. I think that'd be nice because everybody wants to hear the song, so he could hear the song live and in color.
Live and in color.
Yeah.
Like this podcast you're getting here.
Live and in color. We also forgot to start drinking earlier.
I have to drive. I have a lot to do tonight.
Yeah, me too.
Do you?
No.
Must be nice.
You know what I'm doing tonight.
Rather be doing that.
You can. Good.
I could. You're right.
Yeah.
But
whatever. So that was a fun conversation. Well, yeah. Welcome to February. And so yeah, we're gonna have Trekin Outdoors is gonna call. So we're in a couple group chats on the Instagrams, and one of them is a bunch of outdoor hunting stuff, kind of like the whitetail stuff that we try to delve into here and there.
Yep.
So we decided that we're going to start interviewing these people, not interviewing, but we're going to start talking to the guys in there about how their hunting season was in 2020, any mistakes they made, blah, blah, blah. And so we just kind of put up in there, hey, anybody that wants to come, these are the times that we have available. And Chris from Trekin Outdoors said, I'll take this time slot. So we're going to do it. So there's the show on the Sportsman channel.
Nice. Yep.
And what's the schedule?
Mondays are at 8:30 a.m. and then they are on Wednesday evenings at 7 p.m.
Yeah. So you could catch them on the Sportsman channel Mondays and Wednesdays.
Yep. They're pretty active on Facebook and Instagram as well. And you can catch, they have a website. It's trekinoutdoors.com. They have a shop with apparel.
I got some merch.
Yep.
You get some gear in there. And
And
I'm sure
that's
he'll talk more about it.
TREKIN Outdoors.
Yep. And I'm sure he'll talk more about it.
Yeah, I don't want to steal his thunder.
Yeah, me neither. But anyway, so how was your week been?
The week has been, let me tell you how my week's been.
Yeah, please.
Let me tell you what I did last night.
Yep.
So,
Woo.
Nice.
Yeah.
I didn't decide. Okay, I did decide. Some friends hit me up around Christmas time and were like, hey, there's a hockey tournament in May in Charleston. We're getting the band back together. A bunch of guys I played hockey with in high school, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's been 15 years or more since I've seen some of these people. For some of them, it's been 15 years since they've played hockey. They're like, we want to come to Charleston and play a tournament.
I'm trying to get injured.
You down? And I'm like, yes.
Yeah.
1, it's going to be cool to see these guys. 2, it's going to be really cool to see some of them step on the ice for the first time in over a decade. Hopefully they try to do that beforehand. But anyways, in preparation for that, I started a new men's league called a beer league, right? Had our first game last night. I figured I'd be a little rusty. So we're deep into this game. I'm exhausted, right? I get off a shift. My foot is cramping, like toes curling in. I can't catch my breath. We were on a power or a penalty kill, so I couldn't get off the ice. So I get back on the bench, do a line change. I look up, and it's only been like 4 minutes, bro. I was so out of shape. It felt like an eternity. It felt like I'd been playing a whole game. And as it turns out, I am just
Old.
way old and out of shape.
Yeah.
Like, there were older dudes than me running circles around me out there last night.
How'd it make you feel inside?
It's one of those weird things where like my brain and my hands and my feet all knew what to do and what they were supposed to be doing. But my lungs were just like,
Yeah.
not today, buddy.
Yep. I did. I don't think I could do it either.
No.
All that exercise, all that running around.
It's
Isn't that
fun.
sad though?
Is it sad? It's a life choice.
Yeah, no, I just mean like I feel like we should take better care of ourselves.
Well, that's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
I'd like to go elk hunting again or something else out west. And I don't want to be out of shape for that.
No, I would like to do that as well. I was looking at Onyx came out with all of their dates.
Yeah.
And they've like simplified the process. So they gave us an elite membership a while back. So if you have an elite membership, you can go in and they have free tools for basically planning out west hunts. And I was looking at it yesterday and I was thinking, man, we should just apply for tags. Just see if we get a tag somewhere.
Yeah.
Because then you're not committed to anything. But if you apply and you get a tag and then it's like, hey, dude, in 3 months we got to be in Utah or whatever to kill an elk. They have elk in Utah? I'm sure they do.
Oh, yeah. For sure.
Where's Roosevelt elk? Oh.
Unknown caller.
Unknown caller. Don't say the number. Thank you. Hello.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
Good.
We were just introducing you.
Oh, well, perfect timing then.
It was. We'll let you finish it, though. You're probably better at it than we are.
Well, this is Chris from Trekin Outdoors. How's it going, guys?
Going well.
Good.
Thanks for taking the time to talk to us a little bit today.
Yeah, not a problem.
And we told everybody about your show. It's Monday and Wednesdays, 8:30 a.m. and 7 p.m. on Wednesdays?
Yeah, Wednesday's actually 2 a.m., 2 p.m., and 7 p.m., and times are Eastern time.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
That's a lot of shows.
Yep.
How many episodes do you have out?
I have just aired our 5th episode, and we'll have 13 this year. So they're going to air all the way through the end of March, and then re-air April, May, and June.
That's awesome, man.
Very cool.
Yeah. Yep.
So tell us a little bit about the how you guys got started, and then we'll get into last year's hunting season.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's 3 of us. It's myself, Uncle Steve, and Tyler. So we're just a tight-knit group. Tyler and I are best friends, and then Steve, that's actually Tyler's uncle. But everybody knows Steve as Uncle Steve. That's how I was introduced to him when I first met him, was Uncle Steve. So that's kind of just stuck with him ever since. So yeah, all 3 of us are from Michigan. And this past season was our first season airing on the Sportsman channel. But prior to that, we've been filming and editing for quite a while. And then Steve and I, the 2 of us, have been hunting, as far as we can remember. And then the idea kind of just came upon itself, and I ran it by Tyler, and we started filming and putting hunts together. And next thing you know, we're starting a Facebook page and Instagram, and then airing on the Sportsman channel. So this past year was crazy. We went to 11 different states and put almost 50,000 miles on our pickup.
Nice.
And yeah, it was pretty nuts.
That's pretty crazy. That's a lot of miles in 1 year.
Yeah, enough to drive somebody nuts. That's for sure.
Was that primarily just a handful of destinations like that you were frequenting a bunch of times, or were you going to different locations for all that travel?
Different locations. We went to Kentucky a couple different times. Went to Ohio a couple different times. And then Missouri, we went there twice. We went to Colorado, Iowa, Kansas, Missouri, Illinois, Ohio, Kentucky, Michigan. We just got back from Texas, and we actually made it out to Florida for a fishing trip and did some bow fishing on the ocean. So we went everywhere this year. It was insane. Yeah.
It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
How do you find the locations to go to these spots? Is it they set you up locations?
No. Actually, this year, all of our hunts were done on our own, for the exception of 2 hunts. We only hunted with 2 outfitters. Everywhere else, just, meeting people, talking to people. I mean, we met some people in Kentucky when we were down there that got us permission in Illinois. And it kind of, just kind of spiraled from there. We did cold knocking when we went to Kansas, cold knocking when we were in Kentucky, and Steve ended up shooting a really nice buck. The family that allowed him to hunt on their property invited him into their home, gave him dinner.
Wow.
It's just crazy the way that things went about itself this year. But yeah, we did a lot of it on our own. I mean, we were successful, in a couple different states, and in a couple different times we hunted our tails off, and, we experienced and we've been showcasing the real and raw side of hunting, because I feel like, personally, that's been kind of lost and forgotten about, in some instances when it comes to hunting TV shows,
We've been, talking smack about hunting TV shows for many years, just because they're all fake, more or less.
Yeah. I mean, I'm right there with you. I mean, I've been watching hunting shows my entire life, and I've come to enjoy a few, but a lot of repetitive and a lot of, scripted, and I'm not trying to bash, anybody, but we're just trying to be different and just trying to be real. I mean, I don't want to be known, and none of us want to be known as fake or trying to claim that we're the best out there. We're just average hunters, just like the rest of the country. So
yeah, I think that's easier for people to connect with. So I think that probably speaks volumes to your success, and how well you're doing, because people can relate to what you guys are doing. Where did you find the most success at this last year?
I would say that's kind of hard. I mean, Michigan, that's our home state. I mean, we had some success here. We had success in Kentucky and in Texas. Iowa, we shot a buck in Iowa. That was our first buck. I mean, it really wasn't just narrowed down to one state. It was more so just spread out. Yeah. I would say the most successful part of our season was just grinding it out and finishing a full season together. I mean, all of us have families, and, we're all the men of the house, and we got to hold that fort down too, Yeah. It's not all just fun and games like, oh yeah, let's just travel and go hunt, which we're blessed that we're able to have that opportunity. But at the same time, you got kids at home and priorities at home that you got to take care of, and men too. So
are you guys running this full time, or you have normal jobs too?
Yeah, all of us have normal jobs, but I mean, this is, taking up a good chunk of our time, which, maybe one day it'll become something big, if not, I mean, we're just going with the flow, seeing where things go right now. But yeah, I mean, we've been showcasing that the entire season, just trying to be real. I mean, our sit downs that we've been doing on film are pretty much wherever we're at that point in time, and literally sitting in front of the camera and we're just talking about the hunt. And sometimes it's right after the hunt, and that's just trying to be real. And, it's hard to sometimes talk in front of the camera when you have nothing to read off of, or even, like a script or anything like that. But that's just being real,
Yeah. Yeah, and sometimes after a hunt, especially if it's frustrating, the last thing you want to do is talk to a camera, or anybody for that matter. So,
yeah, absolutely. Especially, we had we also, had some unfortunate things happen. We weren't able to recover a buck, and one of our camera guys. So Tyler, he hunts a little bit, but he mainly does all of our filming and then does our editing. But we have Uncle Steve's nephew, Alex. He was actually hunting in Ohio, and Steve got behind the camera, and he shot a really nice whitetail, and just too far forward, never recovered it. So that was unfortunate. And then we just got back from Texas a couple weeks ago. I was hunting there, and the first episode, which would be episode 7, I had a great opportunity. I had a really nice whitetail down there, and when I went to go shoot him, and then people will see this, he ducked my arrow, but at the same time I kind of rushed it. But in a sense, it's like what's considered rushing, because I was at full draw for like 3 different times at multiple times, and just he had turned and quartered away a little bit. I thought I could sneak it right behind that front shoulder, and he ducked me a little bit, hit him high, and we were weren't able to recover him. But we went back out there, and I was able to put a nice Texas 11 pointer down. That was my first buck in Texas, and yeah, just an awesome hunt. Steve arrowed his first axis doe while we were down there. This free range whitetail and free range axis deer.
We saw the we were kind of thumbing through the Instagram earlier. I saw that it's a good looking axis. There was another one where you guys were in a cornfield, and that shot looked super far.
Oh yeah, so that's Steve. He arrowed that deer first. I think it was like 25 yards, and then he ran out to 65 yards and was just kind of stiff-legged, and Steve unhooked out of his saddle and climbed out on a limb, literally just went out on a limb and sat there, drew back at 65 yards and just arrowed him, got another arrow on him. And
holy cow.
That was in Kentucky, and he ran through the woods and jumped off a 50-foot cliff.
Oh no.
What?
Yeah. Fortunately, his rack was still intact and didn't hurt anything, but he recovered that buck. And yeah, crazy shot. It was pretty cool seeing that lighted knock fly that far in there.
Yeah, that's what we were looking at. It seemed like a really. That's why when you said 25 yards, I was like, man, it looks a lot further than that.
Yeah, the second one, that was 65. Yeah, yeah.
That's wild. That's cool. So,
yeah. I mean, had some success in Michigan too. Yeah, I was I was able to shoot a nice Michigan 8 this year, and we didn't really shoot any real big monsters. I mean, we've shot bigger bucks than what we did this year, but it's not what it's all about. I mean,
right. Yeah.
Getting out there and experiencing all those different states. I mean, that was enough experience just in itself, just being there.
Yeah. We travel to hunt too. And very rarely is anything put down that's worth bragging about, but that's not why we do it at all. It's just, it's a lot of fun. We like getting around, meeting people.
Yeah. That's the best part about that, sharing those moments and being in those moments.
Yep. Because Gus and I we're childhood best friends as well, so it's kind of like you and Tyler, I suppose. But it's just fun to be able to get out and get away from everything, and it almost seems like you're stepping back in time to before all this other stuff came to be.
Yeah. Yep. The other cool thing too was I was able to get behind the camera for a hunt as well, and that's going to be one of the ending episodes. And Tyler actually was able to take down his first big whitetail.
Oh, nice.
And that was pretty cool. We switched roles, and just the excitement, out of him, and being able to, it was funny because, he does all the filming, and it can get frustrating when you don't see deer for a couple of days or any bucks or anything like that. And then, I'm in the blind with him, and we weren't seeing any deer, and he's seen deer out in the field, a couple hundred yards away, like 600 yards away. And he's like, oh, let's just get down and try to, spot and stalk him. And I'm like, just be patient, man. I know this property. Just be patient. We were going back and forth for like an hour. He's getting ticked at me. I'm just like, it can happen at any second. And sure enough, these 2 deer pop right out of the woods in front of us by 200 yards. And they close the distance to 100. And it happened so quick. And Tyler's just like, I'm so sorry.
Turns out you were right.
Yeah, he didn't want to admit that I was right, but...
Yeah, I think Gus and I have a fair share of not admitting when the other one's right.
Yeah.
The other person knows. I don't need to admit it.
Yeah, there you go.
That's true, yeah.
So your agreement with the Sportsman channel, can you still post that content, or it has to be solely on their channel?
Yeah, after it airs, we'll be able to post that. But what we're going to do is we'll end up condensing it probably down to a little bit shorter of film, and then we'll post that on social media and some other outlets after it's done airing.
Nice. Okay. So one of the reasons I wanted to have you on was kind of discuss tactics or lessons learned, I guess, things that you did last year in 2021 that you don't want to do again in 2022, and then also discuss what your plans are for this year for the hunting season. If you started thinking about it, put tags in anywhere,
Oh yeah.
So wherever you want to start.
Yeah. So some things that we kind of, can, learn from some of the mistakes that we made last year, just more so, not being patient, and just rushing a few things like on our shots. I had a nice opportunity and rushed a shot at one point. Going with your gut.
Yeah.
There was another instance where, my gut told me that we need to go here, but your heart's saying another spot. And then all of a sudden you hunt that spot and you go back and look at the trail cam, and there was a big, 150, 160 inch deer standing there right in the middle of daylight.
That happened. That happened in Kentucky this year to a friend of ours.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No, we hunted way more than we wanted to in Kentucky early season. It's hard to just kind of look back and understand why it wasn't, we had our schedule laid out, but we like halfway through the season, we moved things around. I mean, for the exception of a couple hunts, but we went down there and we both had tags, Steve and I, and, Steve ended up filling his tag, but I went down there, I think I went down there 4 different times and just got skunked multiple times. But, going back at it, looking back at it, we probably could have gone to, a different state,
Where were you at in Kentucky?
We were in Hardinsburg, Breckenridge County.
Okay.
Yeah, some really good whitetail hunting out there. It's a really awesome place. Been hunting out there for a couple of years now.
Yeah, we did opening day for Velvet in Kentucky.
Yeah,
this
we
year.
did too. Yeah.
Oh, you were there too? Nice.
Yeah, the temps were extremely hot. It was like 90 degrees one day.
Yeah.
Getting chewed up by mosquitoes too.
Yeah, same here. One of the days we were hunting out of a ground blind and felt like it was 130 degrees. I got in there and I'm like, this is horrible.
Yep. There's every single deer that walked by me looked right at me. It could just smell me.
Yeah. Yeah. And then, some positives, learning about ourselves, what we're capable of. It was my first time going out to Colorado this year. We went and hunted some public land that Steve's been hunting for the last 25 years. And we hiked 54 miles in 5 days. We camped all by ourselves at, it was like 8,700 feet, then hiked up to a little over 11,000 feet. And just that experience alone, just, with oxygen levels and all that stuff, just, it was insane, just pushing yourself to the next level. 'Cause those first 2 days, you're trying to get acclimated and trying to get used to that terrain, just to keep pushing yourself. And we hunted for 5 days and we hadn't had any encounters, starting to get down on ourselves. And then the very last day we had an encounter with 2 mule deer, 5x4 elk, and then 2 bull moose and a mama and a calf, like within 10 yards of us. It was
wow.
Yeah, it was. Steve's been going there for 25 years and never once had an encounter with a moose. And then we have an encounter with 2 bulls. The footage we got was amazing. We didn't harvest in Colorado, but just that experience, that encounter was worth every bit of the time we put in there.
Yeah, just something that's in the head that you'll have forever.
Yeah, it was amazing. So, going forward for this coming year, we got a few places that we're kind of just keeping to ourselves on where we're going. I can say that we're going to a lot of the places we went to last year, and we're going to Alaska.
Oh, nice.
So,
sweet.
Yeah, we added Alaska. We're going to be going there. Super excited for that. It's going to be my first time, Steve's first time again. So another first for us, but we kind of know what to expect. We got some good intel from a guy that was there, I think, last year and the year before. But we're going to go after some caribou and maybe even something else. I guess we'll see.
Are you flying into an airport and then trekking in, or are you getting dropped off?
Oh yeah, we're flying in, and then we're going to be whatever's available to us. If it's a U-Haul, we're taking the dang U-Haul.
Nice.
You got to do what you got to do.
Yeah.
Got to do what you got to do. We got to sleep in the back of that thing. We'll sleep in the back of it.
That's actually probably not a bad idea to get a U-Haul.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, you could with a small little space heater.
Yeah.
It'd be money.
Space heater.
all day long.
Plenty of room to throw your junk.
Yep.
Yeah. We slept in the back of a trailer. Steve's got a white trailer. We took that a couple different places and took that with us when we went to Colorado and had all of our gear. We brought that trailer all the way up with my pickup, all the way up to where camp was in the mountain there. That thing was struggling at the end. just trying to the truck was trying to breathe, but the air was so thin.
Yeah, we got a trailer that we're gonna end up sleeping in a lot this year, I think.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yep. But yeah, this next year is gonna be awesome. We're planning some really big things. I mean, we really got our feet wet this year and experienced and learned a lot. So hopefully that'll benefit us for the coming years. What
kind of cameras are you guys using? I saw the big G Master lens.
We run Sony's.
Okay. Yeah, we do too.
We run a couple different GoPros too. Yep.
Yeah, we have the A7 IIIs and love them.
Yeah. We have a A7S and got a couple of really nice lenses on there, which I think we're going to be changing a few setups this year. But we were talking about that, but we're not 100% yet. But I'm pretty sure we are.
We always end up just renting them because we don't film enough hunts to validate buying a long focal lens. So
right.
We just rent them. But those big G Masters are nice. That's what that you guys have. I saw on there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yep. And then just having zoom capabilities, that's something we need to focus on more too. We had a couple times where, we didn't have as much zoom as we wanted to have, to just have more clear footage from a far ways away. But there's a couple hunts that Tyler didn't go on, and we had to do all the filming ourselves. And like when we were in Kansas, Tyler wasn't there, and Steve's more of a hunter, not a cameraman. So we filmed that whole thing ourselves, and I'm filming with a GoPro while I'm hunting, and I'm filming a little bit, and it was just nuts. It was a lot of work. We hunted 7 straight days there, and we ended up getting a buddy on a really nice whitetail out there. But yeah, just an awesome experience. Going to lead to better things for next year.
You guys do all day sits, or you come in?
Yeah, well, we do all day sits, depending on where we're at and what time of year it is.
Yeah, we try to tell people that, but they don't want to. They want to hunt the sunrise and sunset. It's like okay. It's imperative to hunt all day. You're not going to get a deer if you're not in the woods. That's right.
Yep.
Yeah, especially during the rut, you got to be sitting all day, which typical hunter knows that, but whether or not they want to do it or not, it's challenging. We try to do that 3-4 days in a row, sitting there all day by yourself, or just it's just your thoughts, you and your thoughts and God's creation. But doing it for 4 days straight, that could drive a person nuts.
Yeah, sometimes it does.
Yeah, there's a point of what do they call it? Point of diminishing return. Where being in a tree stand in the woods is good for you, for your mental health. Yeah. But then maybe after a few days of being, maybe it's
no longer good.
Good for you.
Yeah. That's very true. Good for you to collect your thoughts maybe that first day, but if you're not seeing any deer and you're on day 3 or day 4, you need to start questioning your sanity a little bit.
Right.
Especially if there's no animals at all. I mean, I've sat all day before and I mean, no squirrels, nothing. It's like you're just staring at the grass move, or the trees or whatever.
Yeah, time goes by much quicker when you're having encounters, but when you do not have encounters, it just ticks by and just goes so slow.
I tell people too that like some of the stuff you'll see in the woods is absolutely crazy. I mean, I've seen there was a squirrel's nest next to where I was sitting. And they didn't like that I was there. So the mom, I guess, I don't know. But she kept running in the nest and grabbing the babies and dragging the babies like in her mouth off to somewhere safer.
Yeah.
And it's like, you just sit there and watch this squirrel. I mean, when are you ever going to see that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love sitting.
Yeah, we had while we're actually back to Kansas, we got up in the tree in the saddles one morning, and we had 5 or 6 coyotes. I wish they would have came in range. We would have blasted every single one of them if we had a chance, but they were just mousing around for 2 hours, and we were just watching them. We tried, making a couple noises and trying to get them to come in, but they wouldn't. But, we got skunked that morning, and obviously, there's a reason why. But, if you're in an area, like we were up high, if we were on the ground, we would have never seen them, and like, oh man, there's no deer here. Well, no, there wasn't any deer because them dang coyotes are just running everything out of there.
But. You mentioned the saddle. Do you guys, when you're filming, do you film out of a saddle as well as hunt?
Yeah. Yep. So a couple different times this year we did that, filming while in the saddle and while in while we're hunting out of the saddle too. Yeah.
Cool.
Yep. And you know, every setup's different. You know, we were in Texas and Steve got up in a tree, you know, and our cameraman was standing on the seat while Steve was standing on the platform, and they were hooked in.
Jeez.
And just crazy, you know, but that's what he had to do to get in closer and get the job done on the axis, because they were so skittish.
Yeah.
The whole time we were there, just a little small movement. Tyler's belly, I swear to you, his belly growled, and an axis buck looks up and just bolts. Heard the growl in his belly.
Do you know why they're like that?
No, I don't. I'm not too experienced with them. It's my first time.
I can tell you. I can tell you why they're like that. Where they're from, they have tigers there.
Yeah, I did hear that. Yeah.
So it's just ingrained in them. I mean, they're known for ducking arrows, like from the sound of a bow. Yeah. They will drop almost all the way to the ground before they take off. But they're super skittish.
The whitetail were skittish too. I mean, there was a couple different times where I drew back and a deer just could hear they heard everything. Like, and that first deer I shot in Texas, that he ducked my arrow, you know, didn't duck the arrow, but he hit the floor pretty well, you know. And I hit him pretty high. And at first I'm like, how in the heck did I hit him so high? But when we went back and reviewed the footage, we put some paper up on the computer, and right before impact, there was quite a bit of a difference where his back was before the arrow hit him. They
were skittish in Texas, is what you're saying?
Yeah, they were pretty skittish. I didn't think that they would be like that, because I mean, when we were driving in, we flew into San Antonio, hunted by Sonora, but we seen deer on the side of the road feeding on the grass, and we're just like, this is insane. Never seen anything like that, you know. Seen a couple definite shooter whitetail bucks, and the owner down there is like, yeah, this is normal. They just come out at night, feed on the grass on the side of the roads, and we end up getting in camp and seeing a bunch of deer, and we're just like, this is insane. We had multiple encounters, and just overall, it was an awesome experience. We'll definitely be back in Texas.
Yeah, we need to go down there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds like you saw more deer on that trip than I've seen in the last 2 years.
Yeah.
I've seen more deer in 3 days. Well, 4 days in Texas than I think I did in the whole month of hunting.
Wow.
Yeah, we need to plan a Texas trip.
Yeah, we got some friends in Texas. I think it's time for us to call
cash in.
You know, might not be the biggest body deer, but man, the encounters alone is just worth every bit of hunting down there.
Yeah.
Are you going to hit up Colton or any of those guys in the group about hunting at their place?
Yeah, I've seen those guys on there. Yeah, possibly. That might be something that, you know, we end up doing. I know we want to go down there a couple different times this coming year. Steve and I both made the decision we're going to try to get after an axis buck. You know, we're trying to do that with our bows. And I think that, you know, free range axis buck, I think that's a challenge in itself. So
absolutely.
We're going to go down and do that. That's going to be awesome. And then we're going to probably go down maybe once or even twice to whitetail hunt. So we'll see what happens.
We want to try and get out there for just to hang out, not really to hunt, but go down there and see the spot before hunting season even starts.
Yeah. You know, that golden triangle that was that south central Texas or something, or just south part of Texas there. Yeah, there's some monsters over there. We were kind of northwest of that area. But gosh dang, I've done some research on that area. That area is insane.
What was your favorite place to hunt at this year? Was it Texas?
Believe it or not, Texas.
Yes, that's what I figured.
In all honesty, yeah, I never would have. If you would have asked me that question before going, I would have told you, you know, probably Kansas is what I would have said. For you know, we didn't shoot anything there, but just the encounters that we had, and just, you know, the terrain there is crazy. It's just bowls and little cuts and fingers of woods and just open field. It was just you know, everything was just a learning curve for us this year, and just so different. But going to Texas and just, you know, you're hunting by cactus. I mean, that was just walking around, you know, in the woods there. It was just weird. Yeah. Everything's like just dry and wants to poke you, you know.
There's no trees. You can see the horizon in every direction.
Yeah, that too. And then we seen a deer chowing and just chowing down on a cactus.
What?
It was just mowing it. And
I believe that, actually.
Tyler and I were looking at each other. We're like, what in this is crazy. Like the thing's just mowing down on a piece of cactus. We're like, this is nuts.
Yeah, deer are wild animals, man.
They are tough. They're tough and wild.
They and horses, like you see a horse just pick up a bird and start just eating a bird.
Yeah.
I've seen deer like pick up mice and other things. It's wild what they'll eat.
Yeah. yeah, just, you feel like you kind of learn more about them every time you're out in the woods,
Yeah. I don't know.
I like to look at how different they are. Like when we were in Kentucky, just that spot I was hunting, the buck that came out, he just was heavy footed and it was weird.
Yeah.
He wasn't out very long, but he just made a lot of noise with his front feet. And then the next day, this doe came out and she would like do a hop and just slam her front feet down. And she just kept doing it. And then her little fawn came out and he was doing it. But I've never seen, I know they do that, but I've never seen them do it with every step. But all three of them,
Yeah.
it's just that one little spot that I was hunting. It's do you ever experience something like that in different states that you hunt that the deer behave differently than other places?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. And back to Kentucky there, you see more quality deer than quantity,
Mm-hmm. I would agree with that.
Yeah, I would say, we don't see a ton of deer, but if we do see deer, chances are we're going to see a pretty decent buck or something. But we have one instance where a doe was blowing us, couldn't see her, kept coming in, and just blew us, and then got like right under the stand, still looking at us and blowing at us. It's like, what are you doing? Just like, all right, time to knock the arrow and shut this up.
Yeah.
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 We'll take a little half a second break here. So every episode we do a couple different things, but we do one of them is the plug of the week. And so we're going to let you do the plug of the week this week. So we'll do a little jingle and then tell them about your website or anywhere that they can go and get you some money, pay you money somehow. So here you go.
All right, here comes the jingle. When it's over, you can feel free to
Promote.
do your thing.
All right, guys, Chris from Trekin Outdoors. You can find us on Facebook and Instagram. Airing on the Sportsman channel Monday mornings at 8:30 Eastern time, Wednesdays at 2 p.m. and 7 p.m. Eastern time. And make sure to check us out on our website at www.trekinoutdoors.com. And make sure to shop our merch and just help us out. All that stuff helps us get around the country so we can keep putting some solid content together.
Helps put gas in that tank, in that 50,000 mile truck tank.
Yeah. Yeah, that old girl took a beating this year. It was insane.
Well, now you can ride it off and you can degrade that piece of property as well.
Yeah, I drive a 16 Ram and Ram 1500, and I have an air ride suspension. Well, right when the season got over, and we live in Michigan, and the air ride typically doesn't like the cold weather too much, But the air ride stopped working. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me! Like I'm like, hey, I'm grateful that the old girl got me through the season, but I was like, come on, really? I'm trying to get settled back here and at home, and now my air ride stops working. I'm like, come on.
Is your air ride broke?
Mine?
Yeah, you have a Ram as well. Right?
Yeah, I don't have air ride on my Ram.
Because he keeps saying old girl.
Yeah, I have a 2007 Dodge Ram that I refuse to replace.
So does Tyler, actually. Yeah. Tyler's had the same truck for as long as I've known him. I mean, it's a 2007, and he's had it since I think 2008 or something like that.
Yeah.
But that thing is, he says, whenever we're driving my truck, he's like, oh yeah, oh, it's such a nice truck. And then he gets in his and he's like, I'm just driving this piece of crap around.
I tell you what, man, I changed the oil. I changed the air filter. I do, required maintenance to keep it moving, but
his radio broke like 2 years ago.
Here's the thing. Like, I just dropped a bunch of money to have new brakes and pads put all around, big chunk of change, but I won't pay $100 to get my front two
windows retinted. Yeah.
And
they're all bubbled up.
And I won't replace the radio because I hate the truck so much and I want a new one. I do it out of spite, I think.
I refuse to make you look better.
Yeah.
It's like you get attached to the truck, I mean, I was like that. I had a 2000 GMC Sierra I got super attached to, and just I had to roll the thing in order to get rid of it.
Yeah, I'm definitely not attached to it.
That wasn't intentional. That wasn't intentional.
We drove my Sierra 28 hours from here to Colorado to hunt elk.
That's right.
And
yeah.
The only reason I got that truck was for that trip, and then I basically got rid of it when we got done.
Yeah, mine is a 16. I bought it with 39,000 miles on. I got 160 on it already.
Wow.
And
I drove a lot. I got 38,000 on my truck, and I bought it last year.
Yeah,
I guess I bought it a little over a year ago now.
Yeah, I'm just gonna drive that thing until it explodes. I'm attached to it now. You know.
That's the move.
Well, maybe by then you'll you have yourself a truck sponsor.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe that'd be amazing. Maybe
Yeah.
Ram will sponsor us or something. That'd be cool.
Especially, dude, I'll tell you what, man, having a show, we tell people this all the time. If you have a place in which people are looking at you and they see you, you can get sponsors. So if you were to send a link or even an episode to like the Ram marketing department, be like, see how much time we spend in this truck. When
Right.
it breaks, I'm buying an F-250. Or you guys throw me half off on a new Ram and I'll go buy a new Ram.
You know what you guys should do is you should take his old truck, and when you guys are doing your interviews and you're talking, you should pose next to the truck and just get the old beat up Dodge symbols like in the frame.
Yeah.
So that Dodge gets wind of it and is like, all right, we got to send these guys a new one because they keep showing this old ass, all this old branding. It's not good for our.
This doesn't work for us. We're Ram now.
You just force them to send you a new one.
Yeah, I mean, just almost every episode we had some kind of clip like of our truck going across a bridge or something. You know, like Kentucky, Illinois, Iowa. So we just to be a little different. You know, we wanted to put like a little clip of that in there, and I have it wrapped too. And I didn't design the wrap. I had a buddy design it, and he does amazing work by all means. But my face is on the driver's side door and on the passenger door, and I'm like. Here I am. I'm that guy. I got my own face, holding a deer on the side of the truck, which, all of us are on there. But, it's like, hey, someone's looking at the driver's door and they're like, oh, there's a guy with a buck. And then I get out and they're like, oh, look at this guy.
Yeah. Sweet.
And so, whenever I get a new truck or something, I'm doing a completely different, wrap on it. But
I got to pull this up and see if, is it on your Instagram?
Yeah, I think so. It's on there somewhere. It might be farther down, but
I've got to see it. Do you guys have any sponsors yet?
Oh yeah, we got quite a few. We Run It Up Blinds. That's one of our big sponsors, and then Trekin Outdoors. They're out of Wisconsin. Food Plot Seed Company. Those guys are awesome to work with. Buck Cuffs. Or game cuffs, whatever. They've got two different styles. It's just a deer drag system to help drag your deer out. Not everywhere you can go. You can, bring a cart or a four-wheeler, or if you're on public land in certain spots, you can't take anything like that out there, So,
how does this one work? Is it a body harness?
No, it's not. It's actually a cable system. And it goes, your little round tool goes in your hand, and you wrap the cable around the horns. We got a couple videos on our Facebook and Instagram, but we used them quite a few times this year, and it's actually way better than you think. I was able to load a full size buck, in the back of my truck with no help. Okay. I just put two cuffs on his horns and just pulled them right up there. It takes a lot of pressure off your back while you're. Now I'm talking like I own the company, but yeah, they're one of our sponsors, and then Built for Extreme Nutrition. They're another one of our sponsors. We just added Accurate Archery. They have a really cool light that shines on your tape wheel. That's another thing I can kind of talk about. We hunted out a ground blind, so I switched my entire setup this year. I switched from a 5-pin sight to a single pin. I got a Fast Eddy, a Spot Hog Fast Eddy XL.
I'm getting ready to do the exact same thing. Let's go from 5 to 1.
So if I can give you some advice, and I'm unaware of any other product out there that helps with this, but you have the yardage tape wheel, okay? And in low light, the first couple times we're hunting out of a ground blind or wherever we were in low light, I couldn't see my yardage tape. Yep. And I'm like, if a buck comes out, Tyler's like, hey, I got good light right now, so if something comes out, we're good. I'm looking at my yardage tape. I'm like, I can't see the dang thing. Like, what am I going to do? And so at one point, at one point, yeah, right. At one point in time, we're in a blind and I'm using Tyler's phone and he's shining the light on there just so I can help see my yardage tape. So this guy that owns Accurate Archery, came up with a little light that just mounts to your bow and shines right on the yardage tape.
Simple yet effective.
Yep.
Simple yet effective, and wish I would have had it earlier in the season.
What single pin did you end up going with?
I have the Spot Hog Fast Eddy XL. That's what I have.
Okay.
That's a good one.
And I love it. I kind of went through like Levi Morgan's Bow Life Boot Camp. I went through that and fixed a lot of my things by watching him, and then I started noticing myself with having that 5-pin, and I was shooting a trophy ridge. I started noticing myself that, I was having target panic because I'd pull back, I'd have my line of sight just on my target, pull back, and now I'm trying to like creep up to wherever my yardage, whatever yardage I'm at,
Yeah.
Well, that single pin kind of eliminated that for me this year. Just pull back and that pin's like somewhat right already there,
Yeah.
And so I'm not doing that coming from the top or from way high or way bottom,
I have a trophy ridge and I missed a buck. Well, I didn't miss. I didn't even get to shoot, but I pulled back, and by the time I counted, it's just 5 pins is too many when your heart's pumping and there's a buck in front of you.
Yeah.
But by the time I counted up to the third pin, 30 yards, like he's gone.
Yeah. Trying to master the yardage, like I know there's some guys out there that are amazing at it, trying to master the yardage without having to, use a rangefinder, but
I got a range.
Yeah, me too. It's more of like the mental thing. Like you're like questioning yourself, if you don't,
Well, 30
obviously
30 yards standing on the ground and 30 yards from a tree are completely different.
Yeah.
way
totally
different. Yeah. Yeah, I agree 100%.
Because 20 yards usually looks like 30 from a tree.
Yeah, very true. Very true. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm always surprised when you get into a new stand. Like when we went to Rocco's there in Kentucky, and I sat in that stand, and I started, I'll range trees and give myself just, kind of mental markers. Like I know this area is this, and I was blown away. Like especially because I was sitting on the top of a kind of a knoll, so a lot of trees were not only down at an angle, but then down a slope and stuff that looked like, it was a 20 or 30 yard shot because of that increased angle was actually a 40, 50, almost 50 yard shot.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That's pretty nuts. All right, dude. Well, we appreciate you getting on here with us. Is there anything else you wanted to let the people know?
No, just watch us. Hopefully we can, continue to grow, and, those that are already following us, just keep following along, and hopefully we can gain some more followers. And yeah, just appreciate you having me on. Maybe next time we'll get Tyler and Uncle Steve on here too. And that way it gives me an opportunity to bash those two and
make it a party.
Say some things. Yeah. Say some things that they don't want me to say.
For sure. And if you guys ever make it down to South Carolina, come see us.
Hey, that's actually funny you say that, because Steve's actually got family down there.
There you go. We're in Charleston. So.
Yep, give us a shout.
All right. This sounds good. Yeah. Thanks for having me on. Hopefully we can do it again.
Yeah, Chris. Appreciate it.
All right. You guys take care.
All right. You too, man.
Bye.
Bye. Sick.
There you have it. Mr. Chris.
Yeah.
Trekin
Thanks for calling in,
Outdoors.
buddy. That was a good conversation.
Yeah, it was good chat. It sounds like a cool group of guys to hang out with.
Yeah. I think that we get along with them for sure.
We need to, that group that we chat with, we need to, I'm sure it's been discussed before, but organize like a powwow, a get together with everybody.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
Definitely. Especially if we could do it down there in West Texas. You hear that, Colton? Let us come down there to your ranch.
If you're listening.
If you listen, he listens. All right, let's do this random fact.
Yeah, what's the random fact?
Random fact of the week.
I'm going to do the random fact in the form of a question.
Is this Jeopardy?
Yes.
Okay.
What U.S. state is the closest to Africa?
What U.S. state is closest to Africa?
Yeah.
South Carolina? Florida?
So Florida is 4,085 miles to Africa,
Okay.
the tip of Florida. But from Africa, 3,154 miles away is Maine. Maine is closer to Africa. It's the closest U.S. state.
Weird.
Isn't that strange?
Well, you know what? You know what's funny is the modern globe and map and the size of how everything is.
It's off.
I believe it's they say it's like it's off. It's not super accurate, because they have certain countries and things situated a certain way and sizes, and in real life they're different.
Yeah.
So with the angle of the United States eastern seaboard as it goes up towards Maine, I can see how with it being at an angle and coming straight down, it would be closer.
Coming straight down, I think it was Cape Horn.
But just looking at it from a map, like a kid's school map, you would think that it would be Florida.
Yeah, you would.
That's
It's
wild.
strange.
I wish hurricanes would just go to Maine then.
Yeah, I know. That's where they come from,
It's a
right?
shorter
Right
trip.
off the coast of Africa.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe that's true. I wonder why they hit Florida. That's strange. That's interesting. I mean, I know why it's the way that the stream is, but yeah, that was the random fact. I just thought it was fascinating that it was Maine. Who would have thought? Nobody would ever get that right.
I was thinking there's some trick answer like California because of something
other way around.
Yeah,
no, it's Maine. Yeah. Well, what are you gonna do?
You gonna get a saddle?
I'm gonna get a saddle. Are you?
Yeah, I am.
I mean, look at everybody in Patreon hunts with a saddle.
Yep.
Everybody we talk to has a saddle.
Except for us.
And we were one of the first ones to talk about the saddle.
Yeah, we talked about it years ago.
Yeah.
I remember, I think, talking to you or I just saw this craziest thing.
Uh-huh.
And they had just come out. But the thing is they just kind of like reemerged years ago because they were a thing a long time ago. And I think they fell out of popularity because they were just, I don't know, Americans got fatter or something. I don't know.
Well, think about how crazy it all became. Like the hunting industry, they think that we've actually gone backwards. Like the way the Indians and the Clovis people used to hunt.
Right.
They think that our technology today and our knowledge of how to hunt is worse. Like they knew
Probably,
way better.
Because we relied so much on technology and allowing or relying on technology to produce a successful shot.
Yeah.
Relying on technology to find your deer, to locate, you know what I mean? Like those things back then, a hunter was a killer. He knew the prey or the quarry. He understood how to kill it. He understood how it moved, and he knew how to move through the woods. There was woodsmanship.
Also, every meal came from killing. So, where today a lot of it is just, let's go get a deer or two a year.
Yeah, there's no connection from field to table anymore for most people.
Which is actually kind of sad if you think about it. That eating is just like you just go get it.
Yeah.
Like I just grab a cheeseburger on the way home or whatever,
Or you can just grab a burger that's not even real meat. It's made of other stuff.
Yeah, Beyond. That's something else I was thinking about too, is all this new Beyond Meat thing. And I think to be honest with you, I think the population growth, I don't think there's enough animals to feed everybody. I think everything's going to eventually go to that. I think all these fast food restaurants, I think everybody's going to start using plant-based meats. I think that eating chicken and steak on a regular basis is going to be not so common.
Interesting.
In the next, 10 years. Assuming we don't get smacked by an asteroid or something.
Smacked by an asteroid. That's a polite way to put it, I guess.
You ever thought about that? About how scary that would be? Like if it doesn't hit you, if it hits on the other side of the planet.
Oh, yeah. If it's coming, please just.
Yeah, right on my forehead.
Right here.
Yeah. Hit South Carolina.
Bring it in.
Good. Yeah.
Family, let's get around.
Yeah.
Let's hug it out.
Let's eat some Beyond Meat from Chick-fil-A.
Let's play a game of Uno. Let's just enjoy what we got left. Hang out with the family.
Would you even tell them? Or you just would be like, all right, guys, everybody's staying in tonight.
That's hard, man. I don't know.
Why would I even go there?
I don't know why you would go there.
I don't think I'd tell them.
If it wasn't all over the news and it was for sure going to be a civilization reset, and there was enough evidence that it was coming within a proximity that it would just happen and it would be done. And I could protect them from not having to have that anxiety or fear. Yeah, I think I would not tell them.
Yeah, I don't think I would either.
I would be an absolute not inconsolable, but probably unbearable.
I'll come over and tell them for you.
I don't know how I'd act. Keeping that to myself would be hard, but
yeah. Huh.
Well, that's a good note to end on.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Why don't we? Yeah, let's bring it up. Bring
it back.
Bring it up, Chuck.
How do we do that?
We do this. Oh, I got something for you. Check this out. So today I went and met Kevin from the South Carolina Bourbon Club. I went and met him in a parking lot. Yeah, you could. Yeah, I knew you won't though because you don't like Fireball.
I hate Fireball so much.
So I went and met Kevin today at a parking lot. This guy he said he had 3,500 mini bottles, like from all over the world, from the 50s to the 90s. And he was telling a story and he was like, this guy built it and then he died and his son continued it. So he's got like decanters. He has all kinds of crazy stuff. And then somebody sold it. And then they said the story goes that the guy lost it. And he's like, and then I ended up with it. So I I'm guessing he stole it.
That's what it sounds like to me.
I don't know. I'm not sure. But he was like, yeah, I paid $300 for all this stuff. Right. Anyway, so we're going through it all, and I told Kevin, I was like, I'll come help, but my payment is I want something,
Yeah.
I'm not going to make him give me Weller or something crazy like that, but like if you got an old turkey, I wouldn't mind having, or some old granddad.
Sure.
Which we'll see what I end up with. But this one was empty, so I ended up keeping that. Check that out.
What is this? Oh, no way.
How cool is that?
Dude, it's got like the same.
It's a Colonel Taylor, but it doesn't say Colonel Taylor. It just says Old Taylor
just says
on it.
Old Taylor, but the
it's the exact
signature,
same label.
that little red signature is the same.
It's the exact same label. It just doesn't say Colonel E.H. Taylor on it.
Freaking cool is that? You can see
But it hasn't been opened. It just leaked out. I guess the top went bad.
It looks like it cracked. Like the lid sort of, the seal sort of broke. That is freaking cool, man.
Yeah.
100 proof, bottled in bond.
Yeah. Pretty interesting.
That's a cool bottle, man.
Yep. I thought it was cool too. I was like, that'll look good in the studio. So I brought that over. It's got a 1.5 cent tax on it from the state of Florida. Alcohol excise tax. 1.5 cents. How do you even do that?
I don't know.
How do you charge
But they don't make
1.5 cents?
airplane bottles like this anymore, man. This has got class. Like, you could take this out and open this in front of people and not feel like a trashy airplane bottle drinker
right?
during your lunch break,
It's a really cool bottle. There was they had a bunch of like just nifty stuff that I've never seen before. But he had like William LaRue Weller and Old Camp not Old Camp. It was the Cabin Still, the W.L. Weller Cabin Still.
Yeah,
a bunch of cool stuff. I put some of it in our story.
I ever told you about Airplane Pete?
No.
So Airplane Pete is a guy that used to work at this grocery store, and he would walk next door to the liquor store on his lunch break and buy airplane bottles, and he would go into the parking lot and he'd pound airplane bottles with his lunch and then go back into stocking groceries.
Really?
He's just like one of those guys that is, I don't know his life story, but I assume he's a 50-something-year-old man stocking shelves at a food line in rural North Carolina. So
he's living his
not
best
North Carolina,
life.
South Carolina. Yeah, maybe he was, but that dude loved some vodka and Smirnoff Malibu rum.
Ugh.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess if you're gonna drink every day, Malibu rum's not.
But it was funny because you could go into the store, and if you ran into him and you didn't know what time of day it was, I could just make small talk and see if he had his fix yet.
Yeah.
I'd know what time of day it was.
If he was coming down or was coming back
right,
up.
yeah.
Yeah. That's funny. That's cool.
Yeah, Airplane Pete. I call him Airplane Pete because he was at airplane bottles.
Oh, I like Airplane Pete. Sounds like a cool guy. Speaking of Airplane Pete.
Probably dead.
Probably is. Wouldn't be surprised.
We got some Airplane Peters coming in?
No, we do, but that's not where I was going.
Oh.
There was an actual American Airlines. I think it was bonded beam. So Jim Beam bonded, but it had sold specifically for American. No, it was IW Harper. That's what it was.
Okay.
It was IW Harper, but it had an American Airlines. So American Airlines had their own specifically bottled whiskey.
Interesting.
Which I thought was cool too.
This is cool too.
All right. I got to go pick some people up, so you can close it out.
Bye.
Bye.